right? If you can walk in, hit him, hope for a stun, go back, you know, don't get sundered. There are ways to play around him. I wouldn't say he's that much of a counter. But it did used to be a pick we used to see against Void due to the good core-to-core matchup, because you can go for the Ags and the what's it called? Terror Wave is very impactful against
Terror
Void.
Wave, yeah. Yeah, you named it with the Axe. No, it is. It's super annoying to deal with. Huge AoE. It gives you a bit of flexibility to fight. How do we initiate our fights, though? I mean, I suppose it is going to be the offlane DK for Ghostic, so that answers my questions. Yeah, I could see this one very well going either way. I just think that it's we handle the mid laner a little bit easier for PuckChamp than we do for Unique. I think this Lina is going to have some pretty big problems. If not Clockwork, then certainly Pangolier.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm not entirely sold on either draft this time. I feel like both drafts have some heroes that were maybe not top choices, more for comfort picks. So I think this could be anyone's game, much like the last one. But last one I was seeing PuckChamp's draft like, oh, you know, this draft can play PuckChamp style. So I was kind of rooting for them in that sense, whereas I thought the draft was better for Unique. This time I feel like Unique is still playing their style, very similar to the last game. But this time I don't think PuckChamp can play the Chaos as well. That said, I feel like Krillad is really consistent in this TB, though. I'm quite a big fan of him on the TB.
I mean, I hate to do this again to you. I like his TB performances as well. He's only picked TB twice, 7.29. Both losses, both pretty unremarkable losses. They were very fast. He only managed to get an average of 175 CS across both of those games, which is well below his average, even for heroes that he loses more on. So, you know, this seems to be kind of a sink or swim hero for PuckChamp, at least this patch, and it's been mostly sinking. So let's see here if they can get this one to stay afloat a bit longer versus Unique, because that core-to-core is not bad, as you've highlighted, if we can get there.
Also, the TB versus DK matchup is a good solution. It's been the solution that EG came up with as well during the majors. Like, well, tanky cores, time to pick up TB. Because usually tanky offlaners don't bring as much damage to the table. And since the damage comes from the other sources, usually the supports, you're like, well, easy to run TB there because, you know, you can eventually get BKB and he's safe. There's also ways to save the TB from Lina damage if you've managed to counter her. Like, for example, picking up a pipe on Pango. So that's an option as well.
Yeah, you're totally right. And in fact, DK, he doesn't really have a whole lot to do as soon as meta gets popped here. It's basically just, well, I guess I have to walk away from the creep wave because it's not even like Breathe Fire is going to help you. Much like the matchup versus a Tide Hunter, it's all bonus damage that you get on the Metamorphosis, so it's not going to be reduced a single bit by the Breathe Fire or any other attack-based modifiers. So another points in the TB category.
Yeah, we'll see.
So far, though, just reflection level 1, just waiting for a little bit more damage on before the meta's taken.
The execution, though, I think is the most important. Like, last game, I would say, was not a one-game for draft for PuckChamp. I think it was execution that won the game. So I think we should reserve our judgment until we see how they play. Because genuinely, for PuckChamp, I think that's always been the name of the game for them. If they execute better, they will come up with drafts that might not seem like the best ideas in many cases, or might just seem odd to the average Dota viewer, and then they play them so swiftly and so well that they end up looking really good.
I got you. I got you. You're the type of analyst who waits to make a decision until one of the ancients is exposed, kind of guy. I get that.
No, I'm the kind of analyst that believes what Synderen says, which is that oftentimes you'll get to the end of the game and half the chat, Reddit, and half the casting panel go, hey, it was the draft. Because, oh, obviously when the game is lost is so easy. But most of the time, execution has a lot to do with it. Like, it's easy because we don't want to criticize the pros, and most of the time they don't make mistakes, not like we would do, but they're human. These things happen. Yeah. Sometimes teams outplay each other. So I agree with Synderen in his analysis that a lot of times gameplay has a lot to do with it, and draft is a big part, but not the only part.
Yeah, and hey, when you hop down from that fence, would you mind also painting it for me?
Okay, look, if you don't like Synderen, right, because you are an American, and you think Danes should not get to speak, I think that's your problem, not mine.
No.
I believe X-Bros. I was a fan of Mouse Sports. What Synderen says, you know, that's the word of God to me.
I just, I know you said you wanted to get into painting, and that fence, it's unpainted. So if you would help me out with that, I think it would be, it'd be good for you, good for me. We all win. We all win here, right? We all win here.
No matter what words you use, I am not getting off this fence. It is very high, and I'm scared.
Fair enough. Will someone please, production, can we please get a ladder for Alvaro? He is afraid of heights.
Call the fire department, please. Yes.
Desperate in this mid lane, though, is doing decently to hold his own, but FN very quickly now with 2 points in the Dragon Slave is managing to keep him away from the wave pretty consistently. So unless we get a rotation come in or maybe an important bounty refill here for Desperate, it's going to be a bit of a difficult situation for him.
The lane is not too great for DP versus Lina, though, so I'm not surprised by this. I thought that Lina actually was a pick to counter the DP mid, because they assume... I mean, Melis does play the DP off lane as well, but they presume, let's cancel this potential idea by Desperate. It's one of his better heroes. Also give FN a comfort pick. I think that was the logic why they didn't have to ban all of its counters, because there's just so many counters to Lina. Anything that can kill a hero, really, is a counter to Lina.
Yeah, any hero that either has a stun, that has a movement-based ability, or buys a blink dagger is not very
Yeah, exactly.
Is kind of a counter to Lina.
Yeah, exactly.
If they move, usually Lina doesn't like that.
Yeah. Lina likes for heroes to like the ideal draft against Lina is just having 5, Medusas. That's what Lina wants to go against.
5 Medusas, 5 Nyx assassins that all build burrow and then don't skill anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
They just have Ags and that's it.
That's just the only ability they have. That's the ideal lineup. And mind you, I've seen Lina's, though, even being heavy countered, recovered nicely. It's very similar to the Arc Warden, where you get so used to playing against counters that you just know how to do that, right? And FN also plays the Arc Warden, so,
No, you're very right. I feel like that's why all the TA players have been waiting forever. Melis top lane, by the way, he is going to perish. Last auto attack out from Slayer will secure the kill. That means there's Astral rotating away. So we'll see here if he's going to be looking to get online, activated a bit earlier. Unfortunately, made just about impossible by the fact that Unique have planted a ward here, watching over rotations. So that's hence the movements, the aggressive moves from Unique top lane, and the reason why Unique are currently playing so defensively down bottom. Metamorphosis ready to go. 1 support missing with Lion. Yeah, let's go ahead and play it safe. Excuse me. Desperate, both mid laners actually have kind of grown tired of just beating on each other, and they're going to both head back home after just leaving some experience in the mid lane. No one really getting anything out of that. Melis looking for a return kill onto Seema the Slayer. Has got Swashbuckle, but of course Slayer looking to outplay him a little bit here on the cliffs, and he will be able to at least outrun him.
Okay. Not too bad. Melis, there's him going back in, actually, hit by the Splinter Blast. Little lucky time block. Melis, Swashbuckle, doesn't matter, he's fallen to the low ground, and the Roshan will finish Melis off, which I'm sure has made him laugh a fair amount.
FN.
Nice
He's
little
stuck in the
kill
cogs.
against
There's the Exo at the very least, and the rotation from Ducalis to follow through will pick up the kill. Now Bignum, the squirrel, in trouble, as he will be easily swept up there by the level 3 Crypt Swarm. With that Exo, 2 kills for Desperate, and a regen rune into the bottle. Ooh, this is a good opportunity for some nice tower damage here for PuckChamp. If only Slayer had not rotated down, that is.
My biggest weakness, heroes that move, and then, Clockwork just gets a free kill there. Didn't even have hookshot there for that kill. And
no?
The cogs just stop Lita so much because you really can't destroy the cogs in time before you die. You kind of weak in that sense. So, FN having to do the walk of shame back to the lanes sucks a bit.
Yeah, all those animations a bit too long. Battery Assault proves to be super, super valuable versus you. Yeah, it's not a fun time. Not a very fun match to play as the Lina. At the very least, a good rotation from the Wyvern, making sure that they're not unable to secure too much tower damage, or really any tower damage at all. That's actually Krelat will go ahead and pop the Metamorphosis down bottom. Does not want to tank for the wagon. Palantimos is coming with the first Chrono. It's going to be placed down. Where's the follow-up damage, though? Bignum is not level 6, and Ghostek has walked into it, but Krelat also not up to level 6. Will be finished off by the Breathe Fire of Ghostek. Astral tried to get in there with the cogs to save his mate. Unfortunately, he will also find himself perishing to the hands of Palantimos. Netting a 2-for-0 trade. So Palantimos is just going to surprise him with a little bit earlier than anticipated rotation.
This is what I was expecting from the Terrorblade the whole game. Just these constant deaths, honestly. I feel like the magic damage on Unique in general is pretty enough to bring him down, and Lina doesn't want to stay in the lane too much. You're going to rotate bottom as much as you can. And you have some solid rotators to do this. let's see how much Unique can push this, you know, because Lina's back on top with the net worth despite her death. DP has not been able to match her, so as best she's evened out the lane. One of the strengths of the Lina, especially if you go for Boots of Travel, the ability to always recover, despite the fact that you're going to be cannon fodder to the Clockwork.
I'm wondering if we should try and switch these lanes a bit. If it should be Desperate looking to go bottom for this age-old, timeless matchup of DK versus DP, where you can actually make use of this level 3 Spirit Siphon. Because, of course, versus Lina, it's no surprise to see 3 charges ready to go at all times. There's Slayer. He should be able to avoid this kill. There's no points in the Rocket Flare, no hookshot. Level 3 on the support Clockwork here. So Slayer just with the Arctic Burn able to fly over those cogs.
All right. Ghostic doing his best to try to take down this tower. Palantimos joins him. There's the
Exo top.
There is the Exorcism top. So they're gonna trade towers. I don't think neither team seems too interested in fighting. Okay. Fair rotations. I mean, in the case of Unique, they're recovering some farm on
TP's
Lina.
bottom.
Okay, that TP is
What?
odd. Melis. Do they want to get a counter kill here? They have Rolling Thunder, but that. In fact, Unique could have gone for this.
Yeah, I think they're just doubting themselves because we don't have Elder Dragon Form, we don't have Chronosphere, but we do have a Javelin, so there's a decent amount of damage. Out comes the finger. It was a bait the whole time, but they couldn't quite connect as Palantimos does get off the time walk by the time Melis was already starting to roll on up. So he'll just roll himself back to the creep wave and continue farming. A good effort there, a good effort.
Yeah, maybe the idea was that since Melis was TPing in the trees, you have a choke point there for the Earth Spike, so most of the time you have enough time to give your Pango the ability to Rolling Thunder and kill something. Quite a creative idea, honestly.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of a bad situation.
Unfortunately, it's going to be punished pretty heavily here because Finger is your best source of doing damage early on through the Cold Embrace. Not only that, of course, it's got a horrendously long cooldown at level 1. Rightfully so, don't get me wrong, but it's got a horrendously long cooldown. So now it feels like we're a bit weak here on the side of PuckChamp for quite some time, at the very least until we get, you know, a level 6 for Astral, because it's an early level 6 for Ducalis. They gave him a lot of XP, but we didn't really end up turning that into anything, unfortunately. So that's the biggest withdrawal I'm seeing here now for PuckChamp in these next couple of minutes.
That's true, but since you're... Yeah, okay, you're right. You didn't get too much out of it. The DK is actually having the same impact as a DP as well, and you've allowed FN to kind of recover into this game and now put the impact that you expect Lina to have. But I also feel like PuckChamp doesn't want to play too much around this timing just yet. You're playing on the TP, so as long as you're creating some sort of space for him, you're not too sad about it. If you can at least trade jungles here, you're still okay.
No, you're totally right. Because even if we have hookshot, what, you want to hookshot into this team fight right now? No. When this guy's got Chronosphere? Absolutely not. As they're at least going to throw an Earth Spike at him. Ghostic is not yet that close to the Blink Dagger, so needs another 1,200 gold. So there's some time before we can counter-initiate, but that is going to be a tower advantage here for Unique, as Palantimos immediately looking to press the advantage. Going for that first item, Maelstrom, wanting to make sure he can scale a little bit and keep up with the TB.
Okay. Like the idea of the Maelstrom. And matching the TB's farm, also giving you some mixed damage against the TB with a high armor hero, and a bit burst against the DP. Not bad. I think Unique is probably going to try to just play this slow if possible, honestly. Like, not slow to the point that TB is going to get free farm, but hunt down a TB, go for smokes, but not force 5-on-5 engagements just yet. Instead, try to go for the pickups, taking advantage of your Lina DK combo. A combo that's powerful and avoids having to deal with a Clockwork. Like, Astral's going to catch Lina no matter where they go, yeah, so they're going to go for smokes themselves. Both teams have to do similar things. One team wants to hunt down a TB, the other one wants to hunt down the Lina.
Oh, we shall see. Hopefully a better ending for one of these two than the hunt down the Freeman was. Currently Slayer, though, in a good position protecting this mid lane as Ghostic just kind of continuing to lane down bottom. Not really an ideal target. No one's showing down bottom either, as Bignum is just waiting and hiding in the trees. And good patience from the cores of Unique, who instead will abscond underneath a tier 2 tower to make sure they're not putting themselves in harm's way. Means that instead the Squirrel is going to be the target. And a tough catch here, of course, is she will scurry away into the trees.
Yep. Desperate. She might be a ghost, but she can't go through the trees like the Squirrel can. And so they're just going to have to let him go. Maybe take a tower as a result could be an option, but then you're allowing Unique to also counter-initiate you. Unique is also looking for those opportunities, right? A moment where PuckChamp feels a bit confident, they go for an objective and you punish it. You already have better map control, so you're already setting up yourself for those kills. And this also allows for Roshan control, as they're, you can see, taking over the top part of the map, despite them being dire, because they just know they can. Dire jungle is easier to protect, and on top of that, it allows you for easier smokes, because your lanes tend to be pushed, at least 2 of 3, and it's harder to guess when the smokes are coming.
Absolutely, yeah. Plus, we have two great ways of counter-initiating. Everyone, of course, Wyvern, right? The team fight reset, along with the Naga Siren. I would argue that, you know, for the most part, it's not used as a team fight reset. It's just used as a team fight control AoE ulti, unless you're playing Slasher's Wave Faces Void. Chronosphere as well could be a nice team fight reset initiation. And having two of those on the team, even though there is a bit of counter synergy between these two ultimates, as long as you communicate the spell usage there and are, you know, combining together, as Hookshot from Astral will miss down bottom, the team fights are looking real damn strong right now for Unique. Even if you do lack damage in Chrono, we've got a couple of older ultis to follow up and help you out there.
So Desperate's trying to... I like this push, by the way, because all of PuckChamp is staying behind Desperate, so they don't know where they are. They don't know how strong Desperate is, but overall it's a low committal push. You don't know where they are, therefore you can't initiate as appropriately, so you couldn't really count as an overextension, and Desperate can keep his distance.
Oh, smoke top there. They want Palantimos because he's farming right underneath a ward. We'll see if they can find him. It'll be difficult. It will be rather difficult here, Avo.
Unique have not been able to stop the TB from farming at all, by the way. They haven't gone for a single hunt. Like, I was saying they could play somewhat defensively, but there's a point where you should smoke. I mean, they see him. They put a ward in his triangle. They have really good vision, but they haven't been able to catch up to him just yet.
There they go, mid lane. Unfortunately, Palantimos is out in time, and Slayer, yeah, very eager to cast a Winter's Curse on that rolling Pangolin. He will go ahead and leave the mid lane and try again a different day. Astral, though, okay, he's going to eat the Blink Dagger. In the meantime, there is an LSA. They're finding the DP, the more important kill of the two. Broken and bursted down, popped by the Laguna Blade, as Astral is actually able to survive the onslaught of the DK. So it's just going to be then Desperate taking a very costly death. Unique. Oh, I mean, you look for a push. It feels like they can't really do Roche with this lineup this early.
No, for Unique, no, but I think it's fine, because you can always just put a bit of pressure onto the towers with the Dragon form. I think as long as you're taking over some part of the map, like, you've lost the control of your jungle now, which is normal at this point in the game, but it was ideal for Unique as they could control the top part of the map and put some aggressive wards in the triangle. That ward in the triangle, unfortunately, has not netted them too many kills or anything, really. I mean, it netted them vision, but like knowledge of the TB, but you haven't been able to utilize it just yet. Maybe around the DK, Blink Dagger timing, they'll feel a bit more confident, and then we'll try to hunt down TB.
Okay, I like the sound of that. I also like how Melis is changing up the builds quite dramatically from Game 1 to Game 2, definitely recognizing a severe change in pace. I think by this time last game, we had maybe 12 to 18 kills, now just 7 in 15 minutes. So it's going to be no such Diffusal Blade here for the offlane Pangolier, instead opting for the Vessel. Again, a bit of a rarer purchase these days, especially, I would argue, on an offlaner, but it definitely has its merits this game versus the Void, versus the Winter Wyvern, and of course the DK.
He also disassembled the Vanguard, right? Which I'm wondering what
that's
going to
what
be
he.
made for.
I think he's going to turn this into maybe a pipe, like you were suggesting earlier, with that Ring of Health.
I hope so.
And using the Vit booster for the urn. Just, you know, a little bit of God King quality in here.
Yeah.
In the item management.
I like the Vessel in this game because, again, the healing is important. You deal with a DK. I think it's solid. You deal with a Winter Wyvern like that. And I just really like the pipe. I think the pipe... I like the mech choice, by the way. Going for Aura Pango is definitely the right choice this game to make sure your TB is strong. And then you go for the pipe as well to make sure he doesn't die immediately bursted down by Lina. But then you have to play your wind opportunity really well before the Void can outmatch the TB. However, with how honestly uncontested TP has been this whole game, doesn't seem too difficult.
Okay, well, maybe now we're going to get a little bit of a taster, a sample, if you will, of this power, as Krelot is joining the fun. As Clarity and on up, he's got all the skills ready to go. Level 2 Sunder, but most importantly, level 4 Conjure Image and Metamorphosis at the ready. They've got a ward behind the tower here, as playing bait in the mid lane is going to be desperate. Hookshot, though, is going to miss absolutely everyone. Palantimos on the way, gets hexed up before he can get off the ultimate, but a nice, ooh, the Chrono's still going to come through, despite their best efforts, but it's a defensive one. Palantimos needing to get back as they've stacked the curse on top of it. That means Melis is free to roll on through, punishing Seema the Slayer. We also hear the Metamorphosis onto an illusion just to heal a bit more onto a Clockwork, perhaps, but Ghostic will be ran down. As Desperate just connecting onto him with the Siphon. Whoa!
Yeah, that Void didn't have a chance. Krelot's like, my team's got this. I can keep farming. What a domination of this team fight. Unique. Once again, is similar to last game where I feel like they're just not doing enough in this game. And that's allowing PuckChamp to play their game. Yet such good map control, and you weren't able to utilize it for much. And PuckChamp now has taken over, I mean, has taken back their map. I'm still questioning what that deep ward within the enemy jungle is, what that deep ward in the triangle is doing. Like, they haven't... Again, as our criticism to these wards is that you haven't been able to utilize them too much, and that's allowed PuckChamp to pretty much come back, you could call it, into this game, secure a lot of farm at TP, and now they're the ones that are riding the bull.
Radiant are scanning.
Ah, they are. I mean, they're going to be a bit on the back foot now without Exo, without Metamorphosis, a bit weaker, especially with still a level 1 finger securing the kill. So we are going to be a bit weak now for PuckChamp. But by the looks of things, so are Unique. Elder Dragon form ready in a bit. No Chronosphere, having to use that. And then unfortunately, that was a Curse and a Chrono, both on top of one another. Am I correct in that? I mean, because either way, Palantimos didn't have the damage in the Chronosphere is the be-all and end-all of that, you know, kind of engagement. He does time walk in. I don't think was expecting that many heroes behind his tower. But I believe they did Curse and Chrono. I could be mistaken in that sense, but Palantimos didn't even try and go for any kills, just immediately went on and time walked away.
Yeah, I was watching. Yeah, I didn't watch the initiation. I was watching this other part of the maps when that started, so I can't be guaranteed.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
Gotcha. You were looking at the Kabold Formants.
I was looking at the Formants. Well, I was seeing the smoke. Was like, oh, they're gonna initiate through here, and I was actually looking at the wards. I'm not gonna lie. I'm really frustrated with these wards. Yeah, I apologize. Regardless, I think that the initiation is solid for PuckChamp because once again, it's the. I mean, they just get to choose when to do it, right? So it surprises Unique regardless. Even if it wasn't a mistake, that doesn't really matter as much. Slayer. There's a... Okay, they stopped the Rolling Thunder, but... Oh, never mind. They're actually going to kill Pango. There's the Bushwhack. Ice Strike Array. They even used the Laguna. Everything for Pango. Melis has to die. I've decided so today. And those are one of the plays I actually spoke about the panel, right? Where Melis is far away from your team, and PuckChamp's like, we should help him, but Melis, why? Why are you that far ahead? It's so difficult to catch up to you.
Yeah, when you're outside of even in hookshot range, usually that's a little far for the rest of your team to try and follow up on, right? I mean, Astral's like, I could support you, but it's even going to take my Rocket Flare 20 seconds to find you. So there's the Rocket Flare used for vision. We did pop Elder Dragon form for that. Again, a volley of ultis used does leave Unique a little bit on the back foot. We still have the looming threat of Chronosphere, which is at the ready. And we're going, by the way, for this pretty classic style of Faceless Void that we see, I want to say, at least in Eastern European, I can speak for, is the unkillable, lots of stats, but very low damage Faceless Void.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's just a traditional... Like, I think this Faceless Void is a bit closer to the I don't need Chrono to fight Faceless Void, right? The Glass Cannon Faceless Void that was so very popular before is not as great now because people have realized that Time Lock and the Shard alone make you so powerful even without Chrono that it's just better to build it this way. It's slower and you don't get the guaranteed kill 100%, but it's more reliable coming into the late game and you become a real carry. The old Void was really, or at least when the Mask of Madness MKB was the build, you know, Mask of Madness Maelstrom into like huge damage. That was just the I am Chrono Void. That's it. And once Chrono is off cooldown, or on cooldown, sorry, you don't know what to do, and you wait for it, and then... But ever since the cooldown increase on Chrono, and the lack of Ags now, I feel like this is honestly the better Void to play.
Okay. You know what? I think that's some sound logic there, Avo. I would agree with you. Again, I just think this team... I wouldn't say they've got damage issues. The TP away in time from our Lion.
Okay.
Because that's not your biggest concern, right? You don't need him to be the be-all, end-all. You know, Chronosphere is I'm gonna kill every single person inside of it. Because you got Lina with a good amount of damage. She can help you out here in the Chronosphere. Just would love you to hold them down for you.
Yep.
We've got DK, who I mean he's tanky, not a whole lot of damage, but Lina, we got Lina for the damage. So I get what you're putting down here.
And to that point, by the way, with the inclusion of Aeon Discs, that kind of Void can be countered at some point in the game, and so that's why they go for Melis, who's again. Far away from his team, and dead.
Thanks to smoke, though.
Yeah, it's true, but it's always Melis in front. This is what he does. It's not a mistake, it's just this is how he plays. He plays really aggressively. He sometimes uncovers smokes, he sometimes finds solo Kyros like this. But if you know he's going to do this, Unique can also take advantage of this idea by being able to hunt him down really easily. Melis is a valuable core to kill, so they're quite happy with this kill.
He is, but the kill onto him alone is not enough for Roche. They still need to, get rid of this tier 1 tower top lane, as Roche, I think, is looming on the back of their minds. Now with SNY here on Palantimos, with FN, having a BKB, going straight into the MKB after, though, now we've got a little bit more damage. We could potentially look for Roche, but we don't do it that quickly, and we got really, really great fighters around the Roshan pit, and of course Clockwork to constantly provide control around the Roche pit. So I think Unique, if they make the call, it's a risky one for them at this stage. My goodness, this TB is quite literally free farming. SNY, Dragonlance, and now I have Scotty all finished up as PuckChamp are going to smoke off the back of this.
If there's a chance to fight, it would be this one. It's your window opportunity. The Aya Scotty is massive here. We'll see. Oh, in fact, into the Roshan pit. A scan. Pretty good choke point to fight against if you have the Rolling Thunder available, which you do, because Bangkok died without using it.
Hook shot.
Hook shot immediately for the DK. Spirit Vessel on top of that. They save him with a Cold Embrace. In fact, they might lose the clock as a result. Astro. The Winter's Curse will save him for a second, but they'll be able to kill him off right as it ends. However, Ghostic did die as a result. Slayer as well. Grilla went to the Roshan pit just to hit a bit harder. They're trying to retreat. Actually, they found Desperate, who's forced to silence them. If it can take the Roshan off, it's not too bad. Ghostic, don't go back in. That was scary. There were no allies nearby. Unique, though. They can still fight this.
They can. Yeah, they can. Krelat was just like fortified in the Roche pit. FN, though, will throw a couple stuns his way. There's Reflection buyback out now from the Wyvern, as PuckChamp, still with now just 1 quarter left in the duration, are continuing to fight. We have a Chronosphere. Out it comes now, up from Palantimos. Can we get the damage in time? They're going to actually look for Roshan instead, as Palantimos will be able to pick up the Aegis. The Sunder immediately, though. He's not going to lose it, actually. The Cold Embrace in time. We don't have enough magic damage, but surely he dies immediately after, and indeed he does. We've also lost, well, no one else, actually. As now the stun onto Desperate. Krelat, though, in a bit of a bad spot, no longer having the Metamorphosis, slow to a crawl by the time dilation. The hookshot trying to hold down FN. Cold Embrace saves him yet again as Ducalis throws himself in the lines, in the meat grinder. Astral still alive, finally will be taken down by the Laguna Blade of FN. Banless wants to go, okay, I thought he was going back in with the Rolling Thunder. He's just rolling away. It's all good to go. We lost 2 supports. There was a buyback on one of the supports from Unique, and they nullify the Aegis immediately. Help me make sense of this fight, Avo. What did we just witness?
I mean, what we witnessed there is Ducalis is going to regret this team fight infinitely, because towards the end, he actually had the Lina kill with a Finger of Death, but he chose not to use it, because he thought, oh, Lina's dead anyway, despite the Cold Embrace, and that allowed Lina to survive there. He actually canceled his first Finger, then got canceled by Time Lock, because I think he was probably thinking, I can just use it a bit later if I see the Cold Embrace saves her, right? Being extremely greedy, but the reality was, Void's coming for you with Time Lock, you're not going to be able to use it in time. So that felt bad by Ducalis. I'm sure he feels bad about that small cancel there. Almost got the kill on Lina. That was an impressive hook shot. I feel like the team fight was decent by PuckChamp in the early starts of it. Right? They forced the enemy team back, but Unique regrouped. They went to the high ground. They wasted PuckChamp's resources. Exorcism was down. The Rolling Thunder wasn't available as the latter part of the fight, and then you realize, all right, now we can fight. And they did a good job of it. That was the kind of patient fights I like Unique for, and the style that they do best. That's why I said PuckChamp can't quite create chaos with this team fight. Or with this lineup, sorry.
Okay, Rocket Flare, though, will at least scout out FN. Slayer's got a ward behind the tower, which is going to scout Ducalis. That's the Blink freshly delivered, so there will be no surprise elements on this Blink Dagger. We'll see how Unique are going to look to try and counterplay that. 2-man silence. There's Ducalis on the Blink on in. That'll catch Palantimos regardless or not if you knew about it. TPs as well coming from behind. There's going to be the meta active, so it's incoming as the Winter's Curse is going to be good to hold on the DP, but not for very long. We've already dispatched a Palantimos, though. And everyone else needing to get the heck out of Dodge as this team fight has just fallen apart.
Okay. Not the best initiation there or not the best position maybe by Unique. Right after getting that great team fight, you completely lost your potential to team fight, and then you go farm into I mean, I would say that's your safest lane, but you went a bit too far. PuckChamp takes the opportunity to cancel you. They can take advantage of the fact that those ultimates were on cooldown in that fight that they lost, so now they're obviously off cooldown and ready to go. Haphazard move there by Unique. Not well thought out, but it's okay.
Yeah, we also scouted the Blink Dagger. Do we have any Force Staffs for our Faceless Void or anyone? No, we don't. It's just Cold Embrace, but again, we've got ways of dealing with that. I'm really surprised Palantimos put himself in that aggressive a position, knowing full well there was a Blink Dagger, so an insta-hex with a stun to follow suit. That ended up really putting him into that spot.
Yeah, Valentimo sometimes, like last game with Luna, same, right? There seems to be a moment where he's like, I'm doing nothing, I gotta do something, I gotta take advantage of this advantage that we just got, and that leads to these kind of plays where, yeah, it's a mistake. It's a thoughtless play which ends up being punished. I don't think it's the biggest deal. I think PuckChamp still lost the fight, but you know. It's definitely things that need to be ironed out. Astral, he does have the hookshot ready, by the way. They stun him with Dragon Tail, pushback immediately. Okay, they get rid of the Clockwork. However, the Lotus Orb hurt FN a bit. Without Clockwork, they couldn't quite punish him. There's go Melis with Rolling Thunder. It's a bit of a Hail Mary Rolling Thunder here, attempting to find Ghostic, and they're not going to find anyone.
Yeah, they don't really want to fight right now. Meta on cooldown for 30 more seconds. We just finished up BKB now for Krelot, so we no longer really have to worry too much about this Lina if you can get this BKB off. Big if, of course, because we have the Chronosphere that could definitely ruin that for you if you're caught off guard. Or if just DK is faster than you, to be honest, with that blink stun being pretty much instant. Ghostic looking to try and secure his blink stuns. Speaking of which, as he finishes off his own BKB, still a bit behind in terms of his farm, although not by much. Melis only leading him by 800, and that difference has amounted to the Lotus Orb on top of the vessel.
Okay. The Lotus Orb has been really useful to deal with Alina to a degree, so I like it. Unique, going down to the bottom lane, trying to take that tier 2.
This time with ultis.
This time it seems like you are capable of fighting, so they're just going to bait out the DK. Melis will be taking that bait for now. As, wait, the rest of PuckChamp coming in from behind. There's the Chrono. But they hex the Winter Wyvern. There's no Winter's Curse to counter-initiate. They try to kill Ghostic quickly. In fact, Ghostic will fall immediately to Krelot. As they go for the Void Finger, yes, they save him with a Golden Praise, but for how long? Valentimo, he has to get away, not enough time. Quip Swarm will be the last bit of damage that brings him to the grave as the FN is trying to run away. The Life Strike Array not going to stun a soul, just an illusion. And with the Yule Scepter, they'll be able to cogs him to death, actually. Unique. That was a team fight in the wrong position due to a wonderful smoke by PuckChamp, flanked him in the right spot, and even taking advantage of all the wards Unique laid down. They were not expecting that. They revealed themselves immediately, and they thought they were safe due to the warding spots there. Thank you,
That was really rough. I mean, that time, that was the flank that Krelot was looking to make last time when he TP'd to the outpost. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately for him, his presence wasn't necessarily you know, demanded because the team had enough damage without him. This time, oh man, he lays down the hurt. Lina just not ready for him. DK gets eaten alive, and Palantimos is basically solo killed by the DP, who gets chronoed, but then immediately there's no follow-up into the Chronosphere. So Void, again, doesn't have the damage quite yet. He didn't build that way, as Bignum getting bodied by the TB Conjure images. Tier 3 tower in the mid lane has already fallen, as the rest of PuckChamp now spraying. Get to work here on the mid set of barracks.
I think the range racks. As PuckChamp retreats, there's no need for them to go any further. Or the melee racks, rather, there's no need for them to go any further. And Unique will have to think of a way to come back into this game. They need to force a 5-on-5 that benefits them. And this is where the core-to-core starts benefiting Terrorblade when you have the 7k lead over the Void. What do you do as Void? Nothing, really. Like, you need to find farm.
It's hard. It's hard. Like, I would say, okay, Unique, we have a chance now. We have all of our ultis, you know. We can get a good curse off, get a Chronosphere, allow FN. Oh, we don't have Chronosphere. Because we used it in that last fight, right? Like, there's so many scenarios where this could work. But guess what? You're going to have Chronosphere and TB. He's not only going to have BKB, he's not only going to have Metamorphosis, he might just have a full Satanic ready to go by then as well.
Tukalis could have initiated there on the Squirrel, but thinking twice about it. It's tough to fight against Krelot where you don't have enough space to farm this game. You weren't able to press your advantage too much early, and it feels like now, yeah, Lina isn't really a space creator, but more of a leak here, where she's an easy kill. She has to get farm, and she's bringing a lot of damage to the team fights, but because she has to take away the Void's farm, you're losing on your other two cores. In fact, DK is pretty much a support at this point. Hoodwink is taking over his role as well, which is not great to feel for Unique in general. And if Void doesn't get enough farm, this build that he went for becomes a bit useless, because it's more value if you have enough items overall. It's more flexible, but it's less value per item in general.
Okay. You're totally right. I will say, though, like, speaking of this Hoodwink, I think the fact that they are still consistently able to get these pickoffs, I hesitate to call them pickoffs because mostly it's like Astral and Melis just kind of being a little bit too out of position. But the fact that you can punish this so severely by the Laguna and Sharpshooter is proving to be really effective. That might just be what crawls them back into this game. Not crawls. That implies the game is in a much worse scenario for them. That's not exactly true. Although the Satanic that Krila just finished up is certainly not going to make it any easier, as he's now clocking in at 3,600 HP.
Oof. With the
And of
spell
course, he still
on top
has
of
a
that.
Sunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tough. I don't know how you get through him in one single chrono. Well, maybe with Lina MKB, if she can avoid the clockwork somehow, right? Just avoid the clockwork. Easy, right? But that's the only win condition you have. Lina needs to be able to hit, and PuckChamp is just going to try to find the Lina, destroy that source of damage. Melis walking in.
Oh,
for
Melis.
Slayer. No, catches no one just yet. We did hear a hookshot though on the backlines. And who was that for? That was for
DK.
Ghostic. FN joining in, and she actually destroys her arch and nemesis. But Slayer, that is a result. Lost her Winter's Curse. They're still
That
trying to kill off the
Palantimos.
Void. They stunned him for long enough. Palantimos cannot last the onslaught from Krilat as FN is BKB TPing, but in front of the Roshan, leading them to the objective that the PuckChamp will gladly take.
Oh no. They lost Wyvern. They needed Curse in that fight, Avo. As soon as they lose the Winter Wyvern, I mean, first of all, shout out to Ducalis, not wasting a single second this time around. He sees someone in Cold Embrace, he zaps him immediately with the Finger of Death. Absolutely the play he needs to make 100% of the time, and especially into the late game, because not having Winter's Curse to give a glimmer of hope to Unique to try and counter-initiate there meant that Palantimos was just left out to dry. He's tanky, he's got Ioscati, but he doesn't have BKB, which means that these hexes, these Earth Spikes, all these casual stuns that they just have are just so brutal for him, especially when there's so much damage just being rained onto him by Krelat, who's still using the last couple of seconds of Metamorphosis to get a little bit of tower damage in. It'll force the Glyph, but with Aegis now in hand, Shard, of course, given to Melis. He's got roll up now, and Cheese on Desperate. It is now quite the uphill battle here for Team Unique.
Okay. Unique still has solid team fight though, so if they can execute this, like I said, maybe they can start cutting lanes with the Void a bit more with Palantimos. Perhaps he should consider going for a Shard so he has more mobility and is able to cut lanes more effectively, fight farm, while you leave FN to have the safest farm possible. Maybe Clockwork disconnects. That's another option. I don't know, dude. I'm trying to give him chances, but it's just this Lina doesn't seem like he can do much this game. I think PuckChamp was right to underestimate her. Look, Astro's not even concerned with Ghost Stick. He doesn't care. He knows he's strong. He even went for an axe for double hookshot just in case.
Well, it feels like they didn't underestimate the Lina. It feels like they properly estimated that the Lina was going to have little impact, right? I hate to be like nitpicky over your words.
No, you're
but,
right.
You know, it's not like I think PuckChamp very deliberately kind of had this in mind with the last pick, and it's showing. It really is showing. Lina, she has damage. She has MKB. She has Crystallis. I guarantee you, if we look at her damage numbers right now, it's not going to be as impressive as it is even for Palantimos, who's going to have more damage than her, I'd imagine, at this stage, as Wyvern is going to be stopped from TPing away. Has a blink in a couple more seconds. We have Finger of Death. Oh, hook shot out from Mashal, perfectly predicting her, pushing her further into the trees. Overclock is going to miss, but Ducalis is here for the kill. What is going on? Desperate. What? What's going on?
In the middle lane. Unique saw this opportunity to kill off
he
Desperate,
bought
but
back.
Melis, he wants to fight this further. Too much.
Why did Desperate buy back?
Because he thought he could go back in, and they were going to stay and fight Melis. Probably that was the call made by Melis. Melis said, hey, if these guys stay, we kill them. That's what I'm assuming. You use Chrono, dude. You still have Exo. In fact, you could push pretty hard right now. If they go and try to fight you, oh, I mean, if he dies here, that's done. But I think they have to cause and Krillot to help him out. Desperate still with Exorcism. The silence only hitting the squirrel, and they have no stuns to bring anyone down just yet.
Yeah, Astral and Melis were kind of having a bit of like a cookout in the woods. They were both trapped down bottom for quite some time, which is why I was so surprised that Desperate was pushing as far as he was down middle.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Chronos Fury, absolutely, but whew.
Krillot stunned. They have good damage actually on the Lina with Sharpshooter. Krillot. Winter's Curse there to make sure he can't stun her. He kills Melis as well. Desperate does have the silence, the hook shot. They're going to go for the DK as well, but the Cold Embrace will save him. She was on top of that. Does reduce the healing a bit. Ghost Stick. How is he going to get away? He's still so slow, but actually Krillot is equally as slow. So they don't run after him. Instead, they deal with the towers that can't run away from Krillot's damage.
Yeah, they did force BKBs though. That's pretty big. Palantimos with Chrono in a minute. There's no Winter's Curse for another minute as well. Exo still has a little bit left of it, as does the Metamorphosis, but they will be forced off of the high ground, as unfortunately they're not able to find anyone with a Bushwhack. Good curse, though, but unfortunately it's not going to save their bottom lane of barracks, as now only one lane of barracks and a measly tier 3 tower with only 250 HP stands between PuckChamp and the Mega Creeps. Another minute left on this Aegis for Krelot, as we'll be looking forward to seeing where he brings that next. A bit of a precarious situation for PuckChamp, though. I would say this next 30 minutes to 30 minutes, the next 30 seconds to 90 seconds is going to be a bit spicy for them because they found the hoodwink, though. But can they fight this in time? Because Ghost Stick down to the low ground, couldn't quite close the gap. FN with the LSA just nicking Krelot with the stun. Oh, but the counter initiation. Astral's here. Hookshot number one, and the Sunder through the finger, dead. Signed on the dotted line there is going to be Lina. Killed off. A nice quick turn of events there. Cold Embrace not doing a damn thing. We've got Chronosphere in 3 more seconds. We might just have to use it to counter initiate, but that's going to be a great Winter's Curse. Not a whole lot of damage being dealt, though, and Bignum's going to be killed off by the Recluse and Ducalis. Seam of the Slayer still barely alive as Malice now rolling around in the fight, looking to try and secure the kill. FN is bought back, looking for damage onto Desperate, and finds him in with the stun, and will get the kill. That's a dieback onto Desperate as Ghostic trying to use the rest of the BKB to TP away, but the Cogs are going to catch him, and down he goes. He's got buyback as well. But PuckChamp running it right back down mid. Their Aegis is about to be reclaimed here within a second. There it goes.
Krelot still has a Sunder available to him and meta soon. That guy seems strong enough right now. He's here to force some buybacks, and if not, he's going to take your racks. There we go. DK.
We have Chrono, Avo.
Hey, Bignum. We do hit him with a Bushwhack.
Here it comes. All 5 buybacks are out. That's what PuckChamp wanted.
Exactly. There's no need to stay there any longer. Keep Mei sending illusions to keep him busy and stuff. Wait for the next Roshan. Melis acting as a ward for a second. God, Timeless Relic, huge for him, actually. We even have Hurricane Pike now, just in case. Next time it doesn't go as well and they don't go concentrate the DP. It took him so long to be able to murder Desperate. And by then, the Krelot had already done enough damage. They were pretty solid with that lineup.
My goodness, at least finding Desperate gives you a glimmer of hope, but down 25k versus a TB, that glimmer may just very well be the prismatic shard that Krelot's got equipped coming to kill you. A very bright glimmer here. He's turning into episode, what is it, 7, episode 8 TB from the Dota 2 anime. That man, he is strong. He's here to kill not only you, your hero, but also your god.
Yeah, but there's no... Oh, yeah, there's a DK to stop him, though, so we're good, right?
True. Yeah, Davian, you got this.
Yeah, you got this. I mean, but you know, in the anime, he wasn't playing off lane. That's the problem, right?
That's true.
It's
he was a
not
jungler.
DK. Yeah, it seems like it. Melis in the target. Oh, Krelot.
Wait,
Krelot's
Krelot's invis. He breaks
with
the smoke.
Invis? No
They
way.
have no idea.
They hex
The
the
hex?
DK. They have Rolling Thunder. They don't want to fight with that Desperate. I cannot believe
no, they
Krelot
don't.
just broke the smoke like that. He was literally taking a stroll through the park like loo. I hope I don't fight any heroes here with dust. That would be awful, but luckily Unique had nothing to see him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Palantimos doesn't do this, right? There's no scenario do you do this. But could you imagine it? If that's Envy, Envy's throwing that Chrono. And you know why, ladies and gentlemen? That's because Chrono gives true sight inside of it.
That's true, actually. Envy would totally do that. Rolling Thunder to initiate. They miss the hook shot. They do find the squirrel, though. Oh, bump on the Pango. Earth Spike. Do they want to kill and commit for this? They do. Okay, there's a dead squirrel, even with the Cold Embrace. Ghostic has been slowed down.
DK.
That BKB's not going to help him. So much range from Krelot. Ghostic can't get away. Winter's Curse not going to save his life as a shield crash. Fizzes him off. Valentimos is forced to use the Chrono, but he's stuck forever. At least the hookshot does get him into the Chrono, but that's not going to help him at all. Valentimos not going to die to the finger of death, but close to it. He has to retreat. The GG is called. Unique is done for. They don't want to play any longer. It's going to be a 2-0 in favor of PuckChamp.
Well played to PuckChamp. My goodness, what an ending for them here as well. Managing to keep the deep